Alright. Hey guys, what's up? It's Void here. You know, your favorite DID system. We are feeling good. We're feeling right. We're gonna get right into it, guys. Okay? No goofing around as we did last time. Okay? We're going to get to the topics. We're going to talk about these topics, and then we're going to cry about these topics, because the idea for this episode is, why did we even choose to become writers? And why do we write in a era where writing seems to be meh, if you don't have a deal or anything like that? But I think it's time that we just address the elephant in the room, which is, you don't need a publishing deal to become an author or to even really become a successful writer. I think that's just something that a lot of people say to lower the competition. Sorry. Yikes. Is that controversial to say? Is it crazy to say that we think other writers out there will tell you that you need these things so that way you are not competition to them? Maybe. We'll discuss these things, but we will just dive into why we became writers. And yes, sorry. If you're new and you're wondering why sometimes you'll hear I and sometimes you hear we, we do have DID, and if you don't know what that is, we're not going to be jerks to tell you to look it up. But it's dissociative identity disorder, okay? Used to be called something else back in the day. If you're an old head, from the past, you might know it as multiple personality disorder. But either way, doesn't really matter. If you hear us say I, it's because only one of us is speaking right now, and it's easier to say I when it's like a general thing that maybe I do, okay? Because I'm the one talking. But if you hear we, it means as a majority of the system, we do those things. So, I might have a different opinion than someone else in here, but we are all pretty much writers, to a degree. So that's why we say I and we. All right, you're caught up. How does that feel? How is that? Is that great? To be caught up. So we're going to take a drink of coffee. So yes, that is why you will hear that going forward. But it's not that big of a deal. Big of a deal? It's not that big of a deal. It's something we've had for half of our life now. So we're used to it. We don't really care, about having a system or being dissociative our entire life for the rest of time. That's just something we got to roll with, baby. Oddly enough, it's something that other people seem to have an issue with, which is so funny because you're not the one dealing with it. So, hey, it is what it is. Okay, so why did we decide to become writers? Why do we write? Why do we not only write, but why do we write so much and not publish any of it? Yikes. Okay, guys, you caught us. We have a lot of things that could be published right now. We'd probably be in a lot better place. Wait, we'd probably be in a better place? Yeah, we'd probably be in a better place if we published everything that we had. And we talked about this a little bit in the past episode, but we did publish some. We published about 4 novels here and there, novellas and whatnot, and then we realized, this isn't the best writing, and then we didn't really have it edited. We had to self-edit everything because we can't afford an editor, because those services are expensive. So we just did it, quick, boom. We were so eager to get it out there. We just published, boom, boom, and we realized that stuff is not ready to be published. So we were like, let's take a step back, because after you pay like $3,000 in audiobooks, that you're like, yikes, we should not have done this. We skipped some steps here. You kind of put a damper on, like, let's stop publishing for a little bit and let's just get better at writing, which we have. I would say the past 3 years we have definitely evolved as writers. We have matured as writers. We look at some of the stuff we've written, the last 2 years compared to the things we started 5 years ago, and you can definitely see the difference. You can definitely see there is a huge shift in how we write and the details and the pacing and everything like that. And for those on the podcast, you're going to hear us say yo to some people because we are live streaming the podcast as well. So, hey, yo, hi, thanks you for stopping by. Hope we're able to entertain you as we talk. Totally not. Wait a minute. Have you been here before? You've been here before. Is it coming in twice? Oh my god. See, guys. Sorry. Hold on. Okay. See that is that better? This is probably better. See, that's why we're doing it. We're doing it in different ways, guys. This is why. Because hold on. Now we need to know. Wait. Okay, there we go. Okay. You have been here before. Remember your username. Okay. So it's been a while since we've live streamed, but yes, for those on the podcast, we are live streaming this as well. So if you want to catch the live, you can go to our Twitch, which is the MF Void, and we have decided to just stop trying to live stream games because when we do games, no one really stops by, but people stop by when we seem to do like the podcast, just chatting thing. So, in this podcast, it's not going to be like other podcasts. You're going to be like, hey, why are you talking to chat people when you should be talking about the podcast topics? See, people in the live stream, oh, yes, you can talk. You can talk. That's the beauty of our podcast. It's chaotic. We don't want it to be just a stagnant thing, So, yeah, we can talk. How's the son? The son is doing great. He's 2. He's crazy. He should be napping. He probably isn't napping, but he's wonderful. He's a joy. He's definitely having a good life, trying to keep him from developing DID like us. So he's having a good life. He's pretty chill, But yeah, thank you for asking. How are you doing? Hope you're doing all right. Thanks for coming back again, and thanks for letting us know we were echoing twice because we didn't realize that we had the mic going twice. So thank you. See, that's why we live stream, guys, because hey, it has been a long time. It's also been a long time since we have been on here though, because we got locked out of this Twitch account for almost 3 years because we sold our phone that had the the 2-factor code. So we lost our account for a good bit of time, and we just got it back this year because we okay, so we low-key pulled a Karen and told Twitch that since you have our banking account information, you should let us back into the account, because if not, we're going to bring this to court because you have our personal info to our bank and you're not letting us into the account. And then instead of getting a AI response, we finally got a real person who gave us steps on how to get our account back without the app, and then we got our account back. So at the end of the day, guys, sorry to say, but if you need to get something and you're not getting it, pull a Karen. Sorry. Just be like, hey, dude, that's not right. So yeah. Because they kept closing the ticket right after. They would send like the same response and then just close the ticket. And we were like, nah, dude, nah. So we were like, we're going to pull the legal route. We're going to say we're going to sue. And we got a real person. So yeah, pull that little IQ move. But yeah, we're just talking about our writing life, our writing decisions. And yeah, so we have matured as writers. Definitely a lot more now, and learning the process of you cannot skip certain steps. Like editing is very important to make sure. Like you can have a great story, but if it's full of plot holes or typos, then no one's gonna want to read that. So we, the DID, yes, because you just literally just ranted about this 5 minutes ago. So we have DID. So we are a system. So there are multiple people that live in our consciousness. This is something that we will have to explain for the rest of our lives, but that's okay because it's not going anywhere, because we're not going anywhere. So yes. Oh no, it's okay. You don't need to be sorry. A lot of people don't know, we try to put it in like the little tags on the live stream, but a lot of people don't know what DID is, and it's okay. Because a lot of people with DID are afraid of telling people that they have DID. We used to be that way. We used to keep it as a secret, and then we were like, why keep it a secret? And there are a lot of reasons why you should keep it a secret sometimes. A lot of people have a hard time, like, accepting you if you have DID. So, it is what it is. We've just gotten used to it. Quite familiar with it. Hey, see? We wish more people were. More people should be familiar with it, because 1 in 200,000 people in the United States that we know of, that's the statistics of it now, have DID or some form of dissociative disorder, and it's not even like the only dissociative disorder. Like, there's a lot of dissociative disorders out there, but for some reason, you bring up you have DID, people are like, yo, you're a freak. Do not talk to me anymore. We've had that a lot of time in our lives. So it is what it is. We're trying to also, instead of talking about writing or movies all the time, we also do like talking about the DID part, because it is important for people to get used to and realize that it's not a bad thing. It just means that we suffered a trauma, and our brain said to deal with this trauma, we're going to make multiple people handle it in different ways, and that's literally all it is. Like, sorry guys that we were traumatized. Did not mean to offend you. It's basically the gist of having DID. But we've met genuinely probably 4 other people who have it, so that means we've met at least 400,000 people in our lives, statistic-wise. So that's pretty cool, But yes, so why did we become writers, even though we have all these things against us? I think writing at first was a very therapeutic thing for the system in the early days. You can write fantasy and fiction, and you can definitely see in a lot of our beginning writings, like the like middle school writings. You can see a lot of it, like the system trying to like figure out what it means to be a system. And when you're young in middle school and you realize you have this type of disorder to process, you definitely are going to try to have an outlet to find answers within yourself. So in our middle school writings, you can definitely see, like, okay, they're trying to figure themselves out, because it's not the same as journaling, like having a journal or a diary or however you want to say it, it's different when you're putting your different selves into these characters on paper, and you're trying to figure out, like, why am I doing this? Why am I writing this character like this and this character like that, and realizing that it's all of us, So that was something. And then we also did read a lot. We love reading. We really did, and we still do. We just can't physically read books anymore. We'll explain that later. But we also did read a lot. And so I think when you read a lot and you actually love reading, yeah, you can ask anything. We're an open book. You're not gonna offend. Trust. We have been called the worst of the worst by people who are like very close to us. So we don't really get offended by anything anymore. So you can ask questions, and that's another reason why we're open about it, because people are gonna have questions about these disorders, and so they need someone to help them get answers. And if everyone, gets offended and doesn't answer the questions, then how can we ever make progress on informing people about these disorders? Oh, man. Don't know why we woke up today on a path of wisdom and why we're manic. That's the bipolar type 2 kicking in, though. We're definitely in a little manic state, but that's okay. But as you type your question and get your question, we're going to keep going. So yes, I think when people really love something like reading, or let's even break it down to like sports. If you watch a certain sport for so long, you're eventually going to want to try it, right? And so reading was no different. We read a lot, read so much, and of course, we were eventually going to be like, let's try to write something, because we're reading something that someone else wrote. So why can't we try to write something that someone else can read? And so that's what we started doing. Started writing a lot, first in notebooks, and then eventually started typing them. And then, of course, they were like little short stories that mostly copied the things we were reading. Like, a lot of them were like the Percy Jackson type stories. So we did that a lot, and that was something. So my last interaction here, am I talking to the same identity right now? What's the correct term? The correct term, I think most people like to go by, are alters. The new thing is alters for when it comes to DID, and I guess we like the term alters. We don't really, I don't know, because it feels like they're trying to make it seem like you're just an alternate being than the person who was born into the body, and we don't really feel that way. We don't really connect to the term alter. Kind of like identity more. Identity is fine with us because, like, why wouldn't you just say identity if you're gonna rebrand the disorder as dissociative identity disorder? So identity's fine with us. We don't find that offensive at all. And is it the same? Yes. Yeah, it's the same, because I'm basically the only one who really does this stuff. Switch sometimes does the media stuff, but he's more of the writer. If we really had to rank ourselves in like what we do, like when it comes to writing, Switch is the main one. He's the one who's written the most. I'm catching up though. Me, Abby. That's my name. It doesn't matter how you spell it. I'm like second in the writing. Like, I'm really catching up to having the same amount of word count and like novels done as he has. But I would say I do more of the Twitch stuff or the video making stuff now. Because he used to with his group of friends back in high school, but they kind of all grew up and fell apart, so he stopped doing the media stuff, but I still like doing it, so yeah, it's me. That's why I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure I've seen you before, because I just have been doing the Twitch thing. I've been doing the Twitch basically by myself for the past 3 years, so that would make sense that I recognized you. But see, this is fun. I like going back. I like answering the questions live, but then also being able to go back to what I was just talking about. And what I was just talking about is, the short stories were basically like just based off of the novels we were reading. So we were not stealing, but like when you're a middle schooler writing novels, of course you're going to be taking like the ideas and plots of the things you read. So that's how we started. And then high school, we started getting more towards the original ideas. And let's say when we got to senior year, we took a creative writing class, and that really helped redefine how we were going to be writing. Because then you had other people there who were able to critique, and you were able to critique them. And so we actually finally were in a room full of writers for the first time ever, and got to know what that was like, and that helped a lot. And then, past that class, we did great. We could have done better. Realizing we could have done more, but didn't really know because we were dealing with so much still. So the class did help a lot. And then we graduated. And then so one of the members in here, Katie, she was going through a lot, right? And she started seeing someone, and things were kind of wild in this time, like the most chaotic moment of our life, basically. And then I had just gotten to the system. So we became a little stowaway, okay, with the person she was seeing at the time, and just kind of we we were a stowaway at an Ivy League college for 3 months, living in a dorm room with uh, 5 other people, and um, we were like, we were doing a lot. Um, just got back from work. I'm kind of shutting down. I wish you all the best. Amazing talking to you again. I'll be back if I could. Hey, thanks for stopping by. It was nice talking to you as well. Glad you at least came to, check us out again. We appreciate that a lot. And hope you enjoy the rest of your day and relax. We'll definitely be trying to live stream more. So yeah, hopefully you make it in. If not, we won't hold it against you, because we all know about the work grind. 9 to 5 life, boo. But yeah. So thanks for coming by again. And yeah. So we were stowaways at this Ivy League college. I had literally just gotten into the system the weekend of going there. Katie was like, we're just not gonna go back home. And I was like 5 hours old, so I was like, okay, cool, I guess. I'm not sure what that means. And so we stayed there for 3 months, and then in those 3 months of chaos, a lot of things happened. But while the significant other at the time was going to classes and doing, schoolwork and everything, sometimes you would go into a class and sit down and like the lectures and just like pretend to be taking notes and stuff, which was so funny. But when we cannot go into the classrooms and stuff, we would just kind of write. And Katie had been the first one to finally write something original, and that was a very high word count. And so she had this whole little novel, out planned, rough draft, written, and everything. And then we got back home, and then, we had our parents were not happy. Our mom was not happy that we had, stowed away for 3 months out of college. So when we came back home, rules and deals had to be made if we were to live there. And one of them was, work or college. And we decided to start with work. Then we enrolled in college, and then we went to a college. I don't know if we can say the name, but basically, instead of going in person, which we should have done, we should have gone to this college in person. We did online. And we did online to get our bachelor's in creative writing. Bad decision on our part. Really bad. It was all right. It was going okay. We were passing all of the writing parts, because they send you a MacBook, an iPad, blah, blah, blah. We were passing everything that had to do with the writing. We were doing fantastic. I think our lowest grade when it came to like the creative part was like a B-. And so we were doing great. And then, because they were accelerated courses. You were supposed to get your bachelor's in 2 years. Boom. So, towards the end of the first year, they're like, hey, it's time for math. And we suck at math. Dyslexic as hell. We had just gone through a car crash. Things were bad. Things were bad for our brain. So we were concussed. Our boss made us come in and work concussed. And then you're not supposed to do that when you're concussed. And like the job had to deal with numbers and stuff. And apparently if you're concussed and you try to like read and do number stuff, it really messes you up like long term. And so he forced us to work anyway. And then we got dizzy, passed out on the floor, and then went home because he made us bus there. which was also crazy. So anyway, our brain basically got ruined because we weren't allowed to just take a day off, take a few days off after being in a terrible wreck. Gotta love capitalism. Anyway, and so we got to the math part, and we just did not understand any of it. We could not understand any of it. We had what? You know, we almost failed high school because of math. So like we definitely weren't about to be able to do college math. And we emailed the professor a few times, going like, "Hey, we don't really understand this." And then she would send some links to be like, "This is what you got to use to study." Clicked on the links. They never worked. They never loaded. Nothing. And then we email her like, "Hey, these links are not working." And she's like, "Well, they should." And that was it. Like that's all she would say. Like, "Well, they should." And she didn't try to like actually help or teach. And we realized, oh yeah, because we're online students. Like if you're online, professors don't really care. Professors don't care at all for their online students for the most part. So we said, whatever then. We're just done. We should stop signing in. We never signed in. We stopped talking to the school. We didn't email the professor anymore. We just gave up. And then we did that for like a month. Our mom was not happy. They were like, "Listen, you're falling behind now because now we're on like it's a whole new course, but you can't progress to the new courses you need to be on until you pass this one." And we were like, "Listen, we tried. We got no help, and we don't understand anything about math. We want to be creative writers. We don't care about the math." And they were like, "That's too bad." And so we just basically dropped out. And Mom was not happy that we dropped out, but we had been working a new job, and we were working full-time there, and then trying to do full-time school, and then we were like, we got a good job. And so we dropped the college thing, and we just started working full-time. And that was that. And so the creative writing classes did help a lot. A lot of the resources we still have, so low-key, we can still use them. And it seemed like we didn't really need schooling for what we were trying to do. On the discussion boards, we had one thing that really kind of helped us. We had written like a little story about this. Well, you think she's just like a normal girl trying to go out and like get a hookup, and she goes back with another girl, and it turns out they're both like monsters trying to feed, and when they find out that they're both monsters, they kind of laugh it off. And they're like, "Ha ha, this is funny," And I remember a woman, had commented. She was like, "I like how you didn't like over sexualize the characters just because they were lesbian." And we were like, "Yeah, why would we do that?" Because here's the thing about having DID, and especially when the women start writing, we were like, "Why would we over sexualize them?" Because we're also women, but you can't say that because our body is clearly not a woman's body. So I don't know, like that comment always just kind of stuck with us because it's like maybe we are good writers, and we're glad that other people agree or think so, So yeah, we were like, we don't need school for writing, and it was mainly to write like scripts and stuff. They weren't really about novel writing. It was mainly focused on like script writing. So we didn't really care for that either because we hate writing scripts. We could probably have a movie deal by now if we like writing scripts, but we just don't understand script writing. We don't like the format. We just don't. Writing a script feels like pulling teeth to us. It's so yuck. So, with the future of AI, the closest we'll probably get to writing a script is if we write a novel and then we have AI convert that to a script, because that's the only way we would ever do it. Like we just hate it. We hate it. It's disgusting. writing scripts is disgusting. You gotta be Looney Toony to sit down and write a script. We feel like, because it's just not fun. It's so strict of a format, and you got to put in like what the camera does. You got to put in what kind of shot it is. Yuck. Vomit. Anyway, so we kind of gave up writing for a little bit because we were focused on dating and working and moving out. And so writing got pushed to the side. We didn't really write for some time. Got a little rusty. And then we got to a place where we were it was actually COVID. COVID happened. And then we were kind of locked down and locked in and can't really work that much. And Switch's partner at the time wasn't around. And everyone else had someone around. And we didn't have anyone around. And we were just like, whatever, dude. And so Abby, bust out the old laptop, the old MacBook from the college. I had a few missing keys, so was typing, and I started getting annoyed because I was under the influence of marijuana. And I started getting annoyed that some keys clicked and some keys didn't because those keys weren't there to click. And I kind of just took them all off. I was like, fuck it. I want to type this whole novel with no keys to prove how good I am. And I did. And I ended up writing like 270 pages without any keys. Because I could just memorize where every letter was. Because that's how much writing we used to do. So I was like, wow, look at me go. And then edit it lazily, and then self-published it. And you know how your friends are like, gonna support you. We're gonna support you, bro. I'm gonna get it and read it. Don't worry. No one ever read it. I think the only people who actually read any of the things that we publish are grandmother and our mom. I think those are the only two people who actually bought the novels and then read them. Maybe our aunt, maybe. We don't really know. But no one that was like, that we were seeing every day actually did, which was sad and disheartening. And we realized, like, maybe people don't really want to read anymore, or maybe it was just the people we were around, even though they claimed to be readers, And so, kind of just like, and stopped again, and then found out we were gonna have a kid. These months later, skip, things happen. No, move out, blah, blah, blah. And then we found out we were going to have a kid, and we were like, and we were working overnight. And so on our breaks at our overnight job, because they were like an hour long, we were like, let's just start something again. Let's just start a random project and see how it goes. So we just wrote on our phone in a little app. And we would just do that every break. And eventually we had something that was like 150 pages long. But it was kind of trash. The plot was trash. It was definitely doo-doo. But the character and the momentum of the character was actually decent. It was actually really nice. And we kind of like... Oh, hold on, guys. All right. So, we're back podcast-wise. Where were we? Oh, yeah. The character was great. It was, he's one of I would say he's our third favorite character that we've ever written. And so we were like, okay, the plot kind of sucks. Let's start shifting it a little bit. Let's take him out of that plot and put him into another plot. And we did, and it started to work that way. And then we were like, okay, now let's take him from this plot and put him in this plot. And it worked there. And then we were like, let's write a completely new character. Okay? And this is probably our second favorite character. And let's make this character, okay? And let's write his story out. But then let's have the character from before be the antagonist to him and see how that goes. And that's where we're working on now. And it's our best writing ever. Let's just put it like that. And so that's where we are now, writing wise. We are just trying to really get this one idea down. The issue we have. Sorry, drinking coffee. The issue we have right now with publishing and editing and writing. We're like, should we make it without any fantasy or sci-fi elements? Should it just be like real to real, humans to humans? And we keep saying, yeah, we should try that to see how it goes, because there's so much if you add in those other elements. If you try to make it fantasy-wise or sci-fi-wise, there's a lot of plot holes you gotta make sure you fix up and everything, and that can be a drainer, but in our hearts of hearts, we know that we don't want to make it just like normal human to human, because for us, I don't know, like, it works both ways. We can definitely do it without the magic element, and that could go, and, it would probably do just as well as if it did have the magical elements, or it might even do better. Like, low-key, if we make it without magic or anything like that, we feel like it could be better. It might actually do better, And so that's where we're kind of getting inspired from the Matt Reeves version of Batman, where his Batman is more, it was something realism, not surreal, I don't know, where it's like it has fictional and fantasy like elements to it, but there's also a very deep sense of like, this is realistic. Like, a lot of moments in that movie, you're like, I can kind of low-key see this happening almost if someone had that, those tools. Like, I would say everything besides him. Sorry, spoiler alert. There's a scene in the Batman where he jumps from a building and like glides, right? And it's pretty realistic because he's zooming. He is zooming through the sky when he's doing this, but then he crashes into, I want to say it's either a bus or something like that, and he like bounces off of it and like hits this thing hard and rolls in the street, but then he stands up. And it's like, okay, that would never freaking happen. Every bone in his body should be like like broken. But that's the thing. That's where it's like, okay, this is still a fiction though. It is still a fantasy. And of course he's gonna stand up because he's the Batman, So we're realizing our kind of writing, we like it where it's possible, but there is still that element of like, okay, this is still a fiction though, and that's just why it's a fiction, We just can't find out how to do it. Like, how do we want to do it? And low-key, I think we do know how we're going to do it. It's just a matter of doing it. So we're editing it up now, and what we're tempted to do, if people are interested, if people, because we need beta readers, we need people to read them before we publish them, probably. People we can trust to actually read them and give us critiques and reviews. So we're going to reach out to a few friends who might actually do that. But if we can't find anyone, then we're just going to have to cry. We'll probably finish editing, and then we'll do it where it is the fictional way, and then we'll do it where it's just the straight, like, okay, there's the fictional realism way, where there is no magic or sci-fi elements, and then we'll give them the copy where there is the sci-fi magical elements and see which one people would be more intrigued to see, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's probably what we're going to do. And that's where we are right now as writers. We learned a lot of mistakes, and for the answer of why do we continue to write, even though writing, isn't that popular? Reading isn't that popular anymore because of movies and brain rot and things like that. People are always on the move and everything like that. It's just because it's something we cannot let go of. It's our passion, and we just really love it. Like there's never been a time in our lives, and like we've never gone a full year without writing something. Like we are always constantly thinking about writing and doing something with these characters, no matter what. So, we're probably always gonna write, even if we never get anywhere with it. We'll probably just, have them all. And when our day comes, when we're out of days, someone will probably find them all. Maybe our kid or something like that, or his kids if he has kids. Who knows? Where the future's going. But someone will one day go through all of our documents and see all of our great ideas and go, "Oh my gosh, they were constantly building this stuff." So that's where we are on why we write and why we're going to continue writing and why we're going to hopefully get the publishing side of writing down, get that all squared away and figured out, and hopefully people will one day, enjoy. We don't even it used to be like, oh my gosh, authors, really successful authors make a whole lot of money, and that's how they take care of their families and lives. And it used to be like a smidgen of why we wanted to do it, but now we kind of we wouldn't mind if we just had like 400 readers, like a little cult following that just really love the stories. Like we wouldn't mind having that, and we really do just want at least some people to read them and be able to discuss. Like we've always dreamed about just having like fan art of our characters. Like that would make us so happy if someone else besides us love these characters as much as we love them, because they're great characters, we feel like, and they deserve their little moments to shine. So it's our job as the ones who write them to make sure that happens. And so that's where we are on that. Probably going to wrap up this podcast here because, like we said, we have a lot of things we have to do today and we don't want to go too long. And sorry about the last episode again. We didn't really have that much life as we do in this one. We weren't really able to be as animated because our kid was napping. But we were able to get away today and record in a different room, so we were able to record the podcast how we will most likely be recording them all the time. Thank you again to those who came in live and listened and interacted with us. And again, for those listening to the podcast on Spotify or wherever you find it, you can come in, tune to the live stream at the MF Void on Twitch and check us out there. We're probably we might change our name. Now that we're thinking about it, by the time you hear this podcast, it should still be the MF Void. But if not, then you can find it under the title of the podcast, which the podcast, for those who are on the live stream and want to find it on Spotify. Sorry, we bit our mouth earlier, so we're salivating because it hurts. For those who want to find the podcast on Spotify and YouTube, you can search for it as Dissociative Impossible Dreaming. That's the title we decided to go with because we are dissociative. We like to do the impossible, and we are clearly dreaming if we think people are going to read our novels. Just kidding. Every dreamer in the creative field is, probably embedded with that doubt delusion. I've been like, no one's actually gonna find my art, but that's why the impossible part is in this. We do that sometimes. I don't know why. We'll splice words and put them together. So like we said impossible part. I don't know why we said that. I don't know why we do it like that. But anyway, it could be the dyslexia. Oh, my mouth is like giving up on me. Okay. All right, guys. This has been Abby from the Void System. Thank you for listening. And in case any of the mumbo jumbo we just said in the last 5 minutes did not make it clear, we'll put it all in the descriptions where you find us. Thank you again. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day, week, or month, whenever you find this. And we will get this novel out before January. All right. Let's shoot for around Christmas. We get this novel at least done and critiqued by some people and then published. All right. So before January 1st. Thanks again. See you guys later. Peace.